By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Welcome to another episode of Timmy Talks, the channel where we talk old school magic. And today we are looking at the finals of the Camel Trophy, an old school tournament in the Netherlands. And on the left you see Björn. He is playing a deck he has called Pixie Tricks. It is green, it is white, and of course it has blue. And he is playing against Antoine, who is playing with the blue-white Aggro Cermax build. And we're going to see what's going to happen. Let's check out game number 1. Antoine on the play, playing a Savannah Lines in turn 1. Let's see what Björn can do. Also playing a Mox, so pretty similar openings, playing a Pixies. Makes sense when you call your deck Pixie Tricks, and then he gains 2 from the swords and he loses 2 from the line, so he stays on 20. Playing out a factory passing turn. And an attack here. He's probably not going to use his factory, Björn, because the factory still has summoning sickness, so he cannot make it 3-3 in the block. So he's taking the 2 damage, going to 18. And let's see, there's a Mox. There's a City of Brass. And there's an Arnhem Gin, the 4-5 green powerhouse. But another Swords. So taking 4 life and then losing 2 life again from the line. So he's back on 20. And there's another land there from Björn. And Antoine doesn't have any land. Well, only that one Tundra from turn 1. But he's managing pretty well with those swords and his little lion. And there's the Brain Geyser from Björn, so he's got a handful. But first he has to take 2 more damage from the lion. And he already took 1 damage earlier from the city, so he's down to 17. And Antoine is thinking there is a Time Twister there. Could have been a move after the Brain Geyser play from Björn. But he decides to wait. There's a little tap, Soul Ring here. And there's a Surrender Efreet. And he attacks with the factory. So that's the first damage there for Antoine. And end of turn, there's the Psionic Blast, and that's exactly the 4 damage that he needs to take care of the Efreet. So far, we're kind of seeing a pattern. We see Antoine attacking with the line and slowly killing every single creature that Björn puts on the board. Björn, by the way, is also the organizer of the Camel Trophy, a tournament that took place in Arnhem, the Netherlands, and this is the first edition. So Björn can actually win his own tournament, and he's playing against Antoine from Belgium. Activating his factory, attacking, and there's a flip on the factory. Interesting. I always enjoy using a disenchant for factories, because you're using a disenchant to remove a land and a creature. That always feels good. Oh, there's an Armageddon. Interesting. And another Mox, another land. So Björn seems to have it under control here. Disenchanting that Mox. And Antoine is left with an empty board. It's almost like an EC game here. Playing a land there. I think it's a City of Brass for Antoine. But Björn doesn't seem to find a creature or any threat. So he cannot take advantage, at least not now, of the board state. Another city for Antoine, and there's a Savannah line. That's exactly what he needs, just getting some damage. Of course, a bigger creature would be preferable. I wonder if he also plays with Sarah Angels, for instance. And there is a disenchant. And he plays a mace. And you might wonder, why does he play the disenchant? I think it was that or discarding the disenchant, so he chose to just play it. Just remove a Soul Ring. Better that than to discard your spell. And Antoine is on 14, and there's another city, and he goes to 12, but it is for a Demonic Tutor. And that's a nice play. That's a nice play. choosing to find the Library of Alexandria. Of course, he has 7 in hand, so that means he can now go quicker through his library and finding the lands that he needs. There's a double Psi Blast, double Psionic Blast, 8 life gone, and only 4 life left for Antoine, so it's not looking very good for Antoine here. Only on 4 life, with the City of Brass as his only colored mana available, and that will ping him. And what Bjorn now needs is just another creature or some land destruction. What is he going to do? He plays a balance. Interesting choice. So he's playing the balance to deactivate the Mace of If and basically play balance as a Mind Twist. And then playing a Serra Angel. Nice. You want to deactivate that mace. Even when you're ahead, an active mace can be disastrous. Antoine's still on 4. There's a Surrender of Freed. So Antoine needs to remove one of these creatures. And he does. He plays a balance of his own. And we saw the balance earlier. He's been having that in his hand for quite a while. And a good move, removing 2 powerful creatures from Bjorn. And remember, he also played quite some swords early games. So I wonder how many creatures Bjorn has got left. There's a Pixies. Pixies work much better than you might expect because everybody's playing with factories. And because Pixies has a protection from artifacts. It's also not pingable by the Triskelion. So it's actually a pretty good creature. And there's an attack by 2. And there's a Swords again from Antoine. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is pretty good timing here. And that means that Antoine stays on 3 life. He is still not dead. And as long as you're in the game, you can still win it. It's as simple as that. And there's another Savannah line. So he's really trying to keep the pressure here on Antoine. And Antoine is playing another factory. And is he going to attack now to try to keep the pressure on, knowing that Antoine has that factory that he can pump? So then you would, if he attacks now, he's basically choosing for that extra damage or to trade off one of the factories, because one of the factories has Summoning Sickness. So if Antoine makes it 2-2, he cannot pump factory up. So he'll have to trade. So there's a maze on the Pixie. And this is interesting. What is he going to do next? And there is a disenchant. Disenchant on the factory. So this is great. So he kills a lion. Factory is gone. And now there's a Serra Angel. And I must say Bjorn is really keeping up the pressure. Really playing out those creatures. But Antoine seems to have an answer every time. And there's a mana drain. And that means that Antoine is on only 1 life. So the City of Brasses he can no longer use. All that Bjorn needs is just an Icy Manipulator to tap down one of those cities, and Antoine is dead. And of course he has that mana drain, and with the help of that extra mana he's able to play out a double Suchi. It's hard to see with the glare, but I believe those are 2 Suchis on the battlefield, 2 4/4 artifact creatures, and also having 3 factories, I believe. I mean, this is pretty crazy. So he can come in now for a pretty big swing, and he does. And it means he takes 8 damage. Playing a strip mine there, not to strip, but to activate his factory if he needs it to block. Just keeping an extra block around the back. Not wanting to be dependent of that Mace of If. Passing turn again. And is Antoine actually going to win this one? He's on 1 life. He's on 1 life! What's Bjorn going to do? There's a disenchant on the Suchi. Blocking the other Suchi, I assume. Taking 4 damage. He's on 1 now as well. They're both on 1 life. This is crazy. And Bjorn must think right now, what did I do wrong? And I don't think he did a lot wrong. I think Antoine had the answers when he needed to have the answers. And of course, a little bit of luck. That recall that got him back into activating the library. All the swords that he drew. There's the attack. Only land in hand for Bjorn. that's the first game for Antoine. What a game. I'm looking forward to see what happens after sideboarding and what happens in game number 2. Game number 2 with Björn on the left side, playing with his deck, Pixie tricks, green, white, and blue, and playing against the white-blue aggro deck from Antoine. Having to start with a Mox Jet and a City of Brass. Not a creature this time, not like the first game. And there's a Tropical Island passing turn. I'm curious to see what they've boarded in against each other. There's another land, so not a lot of creature action, so this is already a very different game than the first one we saw that had that immediate Pixies and Savannah lines on the board. We do see a factory from Björn, but he's not activating it. Playing a Arnhem Djinn. And there's an immediate Swords again from Antoine. And that means 24 life for Björn. And some extra dice. Just in case. Just in case. You never know. With all the swords flinging around. But for now, you can manage 24 using 4/6 die. Sided die, I mean. There's a disenchant. There's always that disenchant on the factory. And there's a Suchi on the side. And does Björn now have a disenchant? And Antoine is already taking it to the graveyard. That's funny. But let's just wait, Antoine. Be patient. Maybe he doesn't have it. Maybe there's a miracle. And there's a mana drain from Björn's side. So that's 4 mana for him now. So he's 8 mana available. Let's see what he can do. I always love it when players play the Brain Geyser, the Mana Drain, and then the Brain Geyser. In this case, there's a very cheap Efreet. Still 2 mana from the drain in his pool. Remember, we are playing Swedish, so there's no mana burn. Making Mana Drain even a better card than it already is. And there is a Spirit Link on Björn's Efreet. And that means it's now a life maker for Antoine. Takes a life away from Björn and gives a life to Antoine. So Spirit Link is a great card against those Surrender Efreets. You see that a lot actually as sideboard tech. And he's actually using his own red Elemental Blast against the Surrender Efreet. And there is a Suchi on the side of Antoine. And maybe Björn should have been a little bit more patient here. On the other hand, you're only taking damage. And I've seen Antoine play now a few times, and he's a very patient player, so he's not somebody that's just going to play out a Suchi when he's ahead. This is interesting. Again, there's a Swords. It went really quickly, but there was a Control Magic on Antoine's Suchi, and then a Swords by Antoine. So they're killing their own creatures now. That's kind of the theme of the second round. And there was a recall from Björn and another Angel. There's a lot happening right now. Passing, and there's an attack from the Angel, 4 damage in for Björn. And can Björn find something? He played a recall, so, I mean, his hand is full, so you would expect him to be able to play out something. But he's not, and there's another extra damage there by the Angel, so that's another 4 damage. And a Wrath of God just to take care of 1 Angel. So I have no idea what Björn has in his hand, but it cannot be much. Well, there is an Angel. Okay, great. So also an Angel for Björn. And I cannot see what creature is there on the battlefield. Oh, that's a Suchi. It's hard to see with the glare. Suchi's in attack. I think Björn is now very much down on life total. And what is he going to do? A Preacher. Nice. So Preacher is a creature from the dark. You can tap it to take over another creature, but your opponent can choose what creature they give you. And Björn now kind of feels forced to chump block the Suchi on his factory because he's on such a low life total. But now he has an active Preacher that he can activate at any time. So he's not going to die now. And he waits for the untap step, of course. That's a good move by Björn. And then takes over the Suchi. So he's an untapped blocker there. And there is another creature. I can't see which one's very frustrating, this glare. And I can see that Antoine also has a factory. And it looks like Bjorn is thinking, what am I going to do? And what just happened? I couldn't follow. Oh, there was, oh, now I see. There was a balance. A balance there from Antoine. That was that glared card. It's just hard to follow when you can't see it. And then followed up by a Brain Geyser. This is a great move by Antoine. So just to clarify, he played the balance, and because Bjorn took over the Suchi, he lost his creatures because the Suchi was his when he played the balance. And after that, he played the Brain Geyser, and now he's playing a recall. That's so many cards. This is just insane. When your player has so much card advantage, I think it's going to be really difficult for Bjorn to come back from this position. Look at the amount of cards in Antoine's hand, and he also has an active library of Alexandria. Playing a Lotus there, why not? Just play a Lotus. There's so much on your board already. And he's playing a Time Walk, taking an extra time. Playing a City in a Bottle. Actually destroying his own library, but hey, who cares, because he gets to attack. Look at the life total of Antoine. I mean, he has to win this. There's no way. Bjorn is empty-handed. And that's the game, and that's the tournament for Antoine. He's won with the white-blue aggressive build. I guess with a little bit of splash of black there, of course, with the tutor and stuff. But great match. Congratulations, Antoine, on winning the first edition of the Camel Trophy. And I'm looking forward to come back next year in Arnhem and see what's going to happen then. For now, thank you for watching Timmy Talks, the channel where we talk old school magic.
Igitus figitus somba kazee.